Do you guys remember this? This is Super Mario 3D All-Stars. It is a factory sealed copy. I do have it in a box protector because, I do that. I'm just a little strange. I get it. But this is a factory sealed copy of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. 2 years ago, literally about 2 years ago, this was all the rage. Nintendo did a Nintendo Direct, and they told you they were going to release Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And they were going to only put it into production, the physical version, for several months. Meaning, at such and such a date, it was going to be discontinued. And all the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters, when this game first premiered on launch day, went out, and they didn't just buy one copy. They bought multiple copies of this game. Because guess what? Because Nintendo was limiting production, in their minds, that meant that this game was going to be rare. This game was going to be in demand. This game was going to have value on the secondary market. Well, I'm sorry that I have to be the one to break it to you. This particular game had a print run in the millions upon millions of copies. This game is not rare. It will never be rare. This game isn't even uncommon. And a lot of the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters that bought this game, they kept it in factory sealed condition. And again, most of these individuals, they have multiple copies of this game, ensuring it will most likely never, ever, ever be rare. That does not mean it may not in the future sell for an inflated price, but it will never be rare. You need to understand that. You can have an item that has a lot of demand, that has value, that is not considered rare. If you don't believe me, study the vintage comic book market. Again, I don't want to rehash old territory here, but I'm going to pick on Giant Size X-Men 1. For those of you unaware, Giant Size X-Men 1 is a major Bronze Age key. Well, in 9.8 condition alone, there are roughly 219 copies that make the grade, again, of 9.8 condition. That means if you look at a copy of Giant Size X-Men 1, there are literally thousands upon thousands of copies out there in the overall market. A lot of those particular copies are in near mint condition because back in 1975, when that book was published, people bought it, people hoarded it, people speculated on it. I knew dealers back in the day that would tell me, hey, I got 10 copies of these, bagged and boarded, that were never read. Well, if they kept them to today, they're making a lot of money on the secondary market because a book like Giant Size X-Men is very much in demand. But it is not rare. This is what people need to understand. Now, where am I going with this? Well, in case you've been living under a rock, on the recent Nintendo Direct, Nintendo announced that they were making physical copies of a game called Metroid Prime Remastered. And I know I love this game. A lot of Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters, a lot of video game connoisseurs, a lot of people love the original Metroid Prime, which came out for the Nintendo GameCube, I want to say 2001, 2002, somewhere around that time. And it's been rumored that Nintendo is going to remaster the entire Metroid Prime trilogy and release it for the Nintendo Switch with a estimated suggested manufacturer's retail price of $59.99. Well, what Nintendo did instead, they got the brilliant idea that, hey, why do we want to remaster the entire trilogy and put it on one Switch game that we're only going to get $59.99 for when we can release Metroid Prime, Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3 remastered, all individual, and sell the game for at least $39.99 a pop, if not more. Nintendo makes a lot of money doing that. So during the Nintendo Direct, Nintendo stated that, hey, if you go to our eShop, you can download Metroid Prime Remastered for the Nintendo Switch for $39.99, or you can wait a couple of weeks. We're going to put out a physical version. Now, we all knew what was going to transpire. Nintendo, once again, in all their infinite wisdom, wants you to believe that, whoops, we may not have made enough copies to handle all the pre-orders and the demand for the physical version. So the physical version comes out. People are going nuts because stores are telling the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters, hey, we may not be able to fill your pre-order at present time. Meanwhile, those that got a copy of the game are having a heyday because they look on eBay and they go, my $39.99 copy of the physical edition of Metroid Prime Remastered is now selling for $100 on eBay. Now, this is where Sean, with Reserved Investments, has to do a video to tell the Timmies, hey, if all you want to do is play Metroid Prime Remastered, here's a hint. Just download it on the eShop. Get your fix that way. Then, now wait, don't scream at me yet in the comment section. When Nintendo releases more supply of the physical version into the market, you can go and get your copy for $39.99. So let's do the math here. Really, help me. Just let me do this with you. The simple equation. If you really want to play the game, you can't wait for the physical release because heaven forbid you think that the sky is falling, Nintendo's not going to make any more copies, and this game is literally going to become ultra rare, and it's going to be seen selling for $10,000. Go watch my video on Revenge of the Bird King that I did in the infancy of this channel, which I thought was ridiculous. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Simply buy the digital version, play the game, and when Nintendo decides to infinitely restock the physical version, which they will, spend another $39.99, get the physical version, and guess what? Instead of those people that are paying $100 just to get the physical version, I just saved you roughly 20 bucks. You can put that $20 in an S&P 500 index fund, a total stock index fund, or for the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters that really want to take some risk, you could buy shares of Nintendo stock with it. And that way, you actually invest in something real while you're waiting for all your fake little Timmy dreams of mass-produced scarcity to come true. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear. So how I'm going to end this video is I'm going to allow you to stare at the box art for Super Mario 3D All-Stars. And just remember, this is a factory sealed copy, guys. And you can let me know in the comment section how this speculative bet worked out for all you guys that went to the store on day one and had to get your copy of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Are you learning how these collectible manufacturers take advantage of you yet? Guess what? Spoiler alert, Nintendo could have easily released more copies into the market, but it wouldn't be as fun as watching the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters fight over who gets a copy and having to put all their ilk on that horrible speculator or reseller that's out there on eBay selling his copy for $100. So now this is where it gets great. Nintendo knows you're not going to blame Nintendo. No, the little Timmy, Kimmy, and Poindexter Nintendo fanboys can't blame Nintendo for this. They have to blame the reseller who's simply looking at this particular game that he paid $39.99 for, going, hey, Nintendo's going to make more of this. If I can get $100 for this game, guess what? I'm selling it tomorrow. I'll gladly more than double my money. Then I'll wait for Nintendo to release more of this into the market, and I'll just go buy it then and add it to my collection. But once again, every Timmy, Kimmy, and Poindexter Nintendo fanboy seems to think that Nintendo's never, ever going to print any more Metroid Prime Remastered games for the Nintendo Switch in physical form. I am sorry, guys. Everybody that I spoke to, some of these individuals are known in the retail space. Some of them own shops themselves, have told me the Metroid Prime Remastered physical version for the Nintendo Switch is not a limited release game. What that means is more are coming. So rather than going to the market, going after people with pitchforks, torches drawn, why don't you just chill out and know that more copies are probably coming soon, sooner than you probably realize. I hate to tell you, your Metroid Prime Remastered Edition is not going to be $1,000 game anytime soon. So just chill out, relax, go touch grass, go for a walk, go ask the hot chick out on a date, go do you. But don't worry about getting your physical copy of Metroid Prime Remastered, because I'm assuring you, more will be in the pipeline soon. Now, with that being said, stare at this wonderful box art to Super Mario 3D All-Stars that is readily available in the millions on eBay, on Amazon, almost anywhere where video games are sold. Thanks for watching.